I'm gonna try to make this really simple for you guys. I'm gonna try my hardest. So if you've been following me and my channel, you know that I am teaching my third grader Abeka, Not Grass, and Apologia. It's a mixture of a curriculum, but you can do this if you have all of Abeka. You could do this if you have a mixture of curriculum also, because what I'm basically doing is I'm organizing my curriculum assignments, so like the daily guides and the instructions about how to either correct, grade, administering tests, things like that. And then I'm going to be organizing all of the teacher keys together as well. So basically, don't mind all my little post-it notes on everything. It's just so that I remember where everything is supposed to go. So what I've basically done is, for myself for this year, I am going to have a mixture of spiral bound teacher keys, and I think I'm going to be doing my main Abeka daily guides, so the lesson plans in a binder, but everything else I'm gonna spiral bound it, so use my Pro Click. So let me see. To get started, what I've done is, these are all answer keys. So basically what I've done is, this is answer keys that I have taken out of my Apologia, or my daughter's Apologia journal. And then I have our Star Spangled Stories answer key and literature guide. Now, if you've been following my channel, again, you know we are not doing literature through Not Grass. We're going to be doing it through Abeka. So I'm going to rip this book apart and only use the answer keys for the actual history book. Then here is the Health, Safety, and Manners answer key. We are going to be doing health through Abeka, so I'm going to use this. And then this is the reading comprehension, and this is also from Abeka. So I plan to take this apart and have it in a spiral bound book together. Now moving on, this is the language from Abeka and the reading key from Abeka. And these I'm not going to take apart. They're a really decent size, so to spiral bound them in a bigger one, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm just gonna leave these how they are. Now what I'm going to do with these are the tests and quizzes for the Health, Safety, and Manners through Abeka and the language through Abeka. So I am going to be taking these apart and putting them in a spiral bound booklet for myself. I'm also, not to confuse you, but in the daily guide, there are some test teacher keys in here. So they have writing teacher keys for test and spelling. So I will be taking those out and adding them to my test booklet. And also, I forgot to mention, there are Bible answer keys in here, and I'm going to be using the Bible answer key pages, and I'm going to be adding it to this booklet here, okay, for my answer keys. Okay, so now moving on from answer keys. So starting here, this is going to be for history. This is our Not Grass, and this is an assignment checklist that I found on their website under extra resources or more resources, and they've broken it down per lesson. So I've just went ahead and printed these out. So I'm going to use this to put into a spiral bound. This is my daughter's astronomy through Apologia. This is her science. And what I've done, this is her booklet, and I'm leaving it like that. But I've taken out these pages because they're instructional, and then they also start with the lesson plans here, so the daily assignments. So I'm going to be putting this in a booklet with the history. Okay, so this I'm not putting in a booklet. This is my daughter's. But I just wanted to show you what book that came out of. Now, I did pick up the Science and Health curriculum lesson plan through Abeka. We are not doing the science, like I said, we're doing the Apologia, but I needed the lesson plans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out, I'm going to take out this health section here, and I'm going to keep it in a booklet with these, because these are all parent-led. These are things that I'm going to be teaching her. So I'm going to try to keep these in a booklet together. Now, the Bible curriculum book, I am actually keeping this as is. The only thing I'll probably do is I'm gonna remove this section here. I'm just gonna undo this spiral thing here, take these out, and then put this back onto this. Only because these sheets here are questions for Bible, and then they have the teacher key in here for myself. See, here's the teacher key. But they also have this in my grade 3 video manual. Okay, so Bible's parent-led, health is parent-led. These are both through Rebecca. And then astronomy is through Apologia, that is parent-led. And then my Star Spangled Story through Knotgrass is parent-led. Okay, don't mind all my little Post-its and my chicken scratch there, but this I'm actually going to separate, okay, and I'm going to kind of walk through that with you right now. So this front portion is all of our instructions on how to administer all the testing and just the work and how long things should take, and you know, all of the information that we need, the instructions. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take all of the 170 daily guides out. So this is our daily lessons through Rebecca. And then moving on, I'm going to actually skip over this, okay? And I'm going to go to my seat work, I believe it is. Where is that? Seat work. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Appendix B, and this is all seat work. Now, normally we don't do seat work, but depending on how this year goes, I may have her do some stuff out of here. So I'm just gonna take all of the 170 lessons of the seat work out, and I'm gonna keep it with the daily guide, okay, and all of the instructions in a binder. And I'm doing it that way. I wanted to spiral bound this, but they already have the holes punched here, and I just thought it would be easier to put it in a binder. And just because the amount of pages, I think that the highest amount of pages for the Pro Click Spiral binding I have is 110 pages, and it exceeds that. So I'm just gonna keep that in a binder. So if you see here, this says Bible. So Appendix A is all about the Bible. So this is leading your child to Christ, and then it has the passages that they're going to be learning, and then it has worksheets that they're going to do, and the answer key for us as the teacher. This is what's in this book. So I'm literally going to just take out the worksheets and the teacher keys for the worksheets out of this. And I'm going to use these in my teacher key book, like I explained, the booklet I'm putting together. And then these will go into the lessons that I organized for my daughter, and I will show that in another video. So these will be taken out of here, and I will be using those. But like I said, these ones out of this one, I'm just going to take out and discard of it. I'm not going to use it. So moving on from Bible, let's see, I have all these little Post-its. So this is arithmetic, and these are all the addition and subtraction family charts. We have the multiplication and divisions. So I am actually going to take this out, and I'm going to make a little folder, either a binder or a little spiral notebook. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. I'll have to do that in another video as well, but this will be for my daughter. With the elements of a book and the book report, I am going to need these for my daughter, and I'm going to have to make copies. It does say that they could be reproduced here at the bottom. So this is like the guide that they're going to be using. So what I was going to do is I'm going to check in throughout the daily guides, and I will insert these into her lesson book that I put together for her with all of her worksheets. So stay tuned for that, you guys. I'll be doing a video on how I organize her actual work. So I'm going to put that with hers, and then this is a grading sheet for myself. So I will be putting this in with my teacher keys. Now next we have Appendix E. This is all about writing. This again, I'm going to take out and put it in her little chart binder or spiral notebook. This is going to be my sample writing tests. So this is when I was telling you guys that I was going to be doing the test booklet for myself, the teacher key with these. And then I said writing and spelling tests from this book. These are what I'm going to take out of here, and I'm going to spiral bound it in with the rest of the test keys. So the writing tests I'm going to be putting in that booklet, and I will be putting in the spelling and poetry. So this is all of the answers for the spelling and poetry section in their little workbooks. So I'll take those out and put them in there. And then we have the actual, let's see here. These are the spelling test templates. So these also can have copies made of them. It says it at the bottom that they can be reproduced. And so with the 3rd grade spelling test, they're going to have a trial test, and then they're going to have an actual test. So it says this sheet is going to be used for spelling tests 1 through 6. So I'm going to make 12 copies of them, and I'm going to insert them into her workbook that I make up for her, or her work binder that I'm going to be putting together and organizing for her with all of her work in order. So I'm going to be inserting these into there. Now, I am aware that if she passes the trial test the day before the actual test and she gets all of them right, she doesn't have to take them again. So I'm completely aware that I may waste some paper and ink. But if it's organized and in where it needs to be, I would rather the sacrifice of losing some ink and some paper. But I wanted to throw that out there just in case some of you guys hate doing that. So I'm going to make 12 copies of those. This is the spelling test 7 through 18. So I'm just going to double up and make 24 copies again. Or I'm sorry, I think this one was only 12, right? This one was 12 copies. So this one I'm going to make 24 copies because I doubled the days. And then this I'm doing the same thing. Test 19 through 33. They use them for the trial and the real test. So it calls for 15 and I'm going to make 30. I know you guys, it sounds crazy, but I'm doing it. If it saves me the headache, I'm all good with that. Okay, so next here is the spelling test that I'm going to actually be administering. So these are going to go into my teacher key booklet with her tests. Again, it's going to be in the same booklet as this. So moving on, this is history. We are not doing history with Abeka like I mentioned. So these are just additional enrichment, hands-on, and creative writing activities. These are actually pretty cool and may even use this even though we are not using Abeka. But the Knotgrass curriculum is pretty aligned with what you guys are going to be learning through Abeka this year. So I may hold on to this just in a separate little notebook or something for myself. But you guys can take them out and put it wherever you would like. You could put it in with your guide. I wouldn't really put them in with your answer keys because they're not answers. So I would probably put them in, maybe make a section of additional hands-on activities. But I think that would make more sense in a binder with your daily guide. But that's just my opinion. So this is Appendix H. This is showing science and health. And again, we're not doing science. These are your answer keys. Okay, so you guys can put this in with your answer keys. If you wanted to take this out, that's what I would do. I would keep these with the answer keys because that's what it is. They're answers to their worksheets. So here is the additional enrichment, hands-on, and creative writing activities for your science. Again, I'm going to keep this with the other one and just put it in a little notebook or a folder for myself. But you guys can definitely keep it with your daily guides. Let's see here. That is all science. And let's see. So here is health. This is what we are going to be doing with Abeka this year. I will be doing it parent-led. So I actually have it in my parent-led lesson plan book. It's here. I'm definitely going to keep this with my daily lesson plans just because I can look at this and determine if I'm going to be doing these. I probably will because we are doing health with Abeka. So I will put that with the daily guides. So the last thing we have here is the progress report. So I will be keeping those, but I'm going to keep them with the daily guide. So that's basically just an overall breakdown of what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to play some music and I'm going to start putting things together. So I hope that you guys enjoy this and I hope that it's helpful. that this also has worksheets in it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through this stack, and this starts the quiz and then it has a worksheet. So I'm gonna go through this pile here. I'm gonna be putting these worksheets in with the health think about it questions from the booklet. So I'll have them in this teacher key instead of with the test teacher key. So I'm going to be putting these worksheets in the same binding folder as the health for this one. These are the text questions from the actual book. So these are the answers, the answer key for that. So I'm just going to have these in with this instead of with the tests and quizzes. Okay, so here are the health and safety and manners. And then we have the language, the spelling tests, and the writing tests. guys are using all of Abeka, I would suggest using everything out of here. I'm just doing it differently because we are doing different curriculums as well. So I have double of some of the stuff because I'm doing parent-led on some of Rebecca and I'm doing video-led, and it just made more sense money-wise to do it the way I did it. Even though I'm kind of being wasteful, I feel kind of bad about this. I may just hold on to, you know, these teacher keys and some of these worksheets for Bible and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to hold on to this stuff. And then what I did want to show you though, what I'm going to do is, let's see here, this for arithmetic, I'm going to take out these 2 sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and save these 2 arithmetic sheets and this cursive formation guide for my daughter. I'm going to make a chart binder for her or booklet that she can use throughout this year. So I will be adding this to something for her. Okay, you guys, so next I'm going to be using my Pro Click, and I'm going to be punching holes throughout all of the pages for these 3 books for my teacher key. For my lesson plans, the lesson plans, again, this is my parent-led, and then we have my teacher test keys. So I'm going to punch all the holes to that, and then I'm going to bind them, and then I will show you. To show you guys is I picked up these 5-tab dividers, and this was from Walmart. But what I'm going to end up having to do is I'm going to cut this portion off and then punch it with my Pro Click, and then I will use it as my dividers inside of my teacher key books. Also going to have to cut a little bit off the bottom because they're a little too big for my book. Okay, so what I'm going to do is when I bind, I always start with the back on the front. Okay, so it just keeps the little binding together in the back. So basically, this is Bible. This is going to go in the front. I like doing my tabs in the front of the paper so I could turn to it and then it's there. I'm not sure how everybody else likes to do them, but that is normally how I do mine. So we're gonna have our Spangled Story next, and then we will have the astronomy, the health, the reading. Uh-oh, you guys, I need one more. So, I am just going to restart with the top tab. So for this book, I'm going to use this white binding, and this is a 5/8. So this holds 110 pages. I don't believe I have 110 pages here, but I needed to use the larger one. Now I did have to open up a second pack of my dividers and just restart it here at the top. So I will go ahead and start doing that. So the first one is done. Here's my teacher keys. So don't judge me. I put this on the front. I could always start behind it. I don't know why I do it, but you guys don't have to do it like this. But this is going to be Bible. And then we are going to have our Star Spangled Story. This is our astronomy. Here's our health. We have reading comprehension, and then we have spelling. And that is it. Now, I do want to point out to you guys that this is not perfectly made. So as you can see, there's all different, size pages in here. So I'm just happy to have all of my teacher keys in one place. And then I am going to start binding my teacher test keys. Then I will start my lesson plan book for my parent-led. So I finished the teacher keys, the teacher test keys, and the lesson plans. So to kind of go over what I put in here, I have the Bible review and application sheets. I have the Our Spangled Story answer key for review questions. I have her astronomy journaling answers in here. I have her health, and this is going to be just her text questions. And then I have her reading comprehension skill sheets. The last one in here, I have the spelling and poetry. This is from the video manual, okay? So that's going to be it for my teacher keys. Now here I have my teacher test keys. And the first one here is the language quizzes and tests. This was from its own little booklet. I have the health, safety, and manners book. For the quizzes test, this was its own little book. And then the spelling tests, I took this out of the spelling section in the video manual. And then the writing test, this is taken from the video manual as well. So these are all of her tests. The last one for these little booklets I have is the lesson plans. So these are going to be my plans for the year for parent-led. So these are all of the assignments for our history from Knotgrass. This is my lessons from the astronomy from Apologia. And then this is going to be my lesson plans from health. And this is my health book from Abeka. So you guys literally can do this with any type of curriculum you have. It doesn't specifically have to be with Abeka. I just wanted to narrow down my books because I had 20 teacher keys. 20 teacher keys may be an exaggeration, you guys. But so this is basically what I have for my teacher keys now. So I have my Bible curriculum. This is going to be my lesson plans and just the layout of how my days are going to go for Bible. And then this is our reading, our language, and then the ones that I've already shown you. So I have 6 teacher keys now. I'm going to be putting together my daily guides, and I'm just going to be putting this stuff into this binder. I should have used a color paper for that, but I did not. So basically what I'm going to do is these I still have to make copies of because I want to put them in her lesson plans in her books that I'm going to be making. So these I'm going to put aside in here just so I remember that that's something I need to do when I'm doing hers. And then these I will put here. So basically the ones that already have hole punches, I'm just going to start loading them into the binder. I believe all of these actually have hole punches if I'm correct. So I literally, what this is I took out what was in that video manual in the front of the book, and that's basically what I'm putting in here right now. And this here is from Appendix I. This was from the back of the book, but I'm gonna put that up with the front just because it's all instructional stuff. And then I'm going to put a divider in there. Okay, so you guys know me now. I like my divider in the front. I don't know why, it's weird, I know, but it is what it is. So I'm just gonna stick that in there. So the last thing I put in here is the seat work. We may use some of this, we may not. I don't know. I'm just going to hold on to it just in case. But just like I mentioned to you guys, If you guys have different curriculum and they just kind of basically have the same type of layout as far as like lessons and guides, you can always put it in a big binder. I did that with my daughter for 2nd grade, and I'm gonna show you my 2nd grade nieces. I don't know if it'll go up before this or after this, but you guys will see different ways of organizing. So on my channel, I have organizing with the plastic crates, and then, you know, per file, per week. And then I have the binder, and I also now have the spiral bound. So it'll give you guys different options. Thanks guys for checking out my channel. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you found it helpful. I do have other curriculum organization videos on my channel. They are under my playlist if you would like to check those out as well, because it'll give you different options like I mentioned. You guys be safe and stay blessed always.